The astrology that's major for all of us ends up to be a very personal energy as far as how that the outer planets are doing a major shift, and then the the person or the individual, according to what time of day that they were born, and of course the month and the year, the day, um, puts those outer planets shifting in a house or a sign, and that's what is really significantly happening now, which is a very slow moving kind of seasoning that is going on for us all. Humanity is going, even though they're going through it together as a collective, each individual has their own house and placement, right, within the zodiacal sign and housing, um, according to what day you were born, year, and time. So that's where we're at with doing some of the astrology when we start to talk about how that Neptune went conjunct for the first time in like at that particular like degree, uh, 6,000 years or so that it's been that way in Aries. And then we had uh, Venus conjuncting it in Aries, which is very, very, to me, is this profound chain of events that we are living through and feeling these energies, if at all possible that you can handle a feeling. Yeah. Um, Aries, despite what people try to jacket Aries as being, has a lot of feelings. We are very highly feeling people. Maybe that's what people are afraid about us, is that we're not afraid to feel and to also communicate and be, I don't want to say reactive, but I like the um, idea of there being a first responder, which indeed that's what the Aries is. First responders that first comes to your mind, which is usually the fire crew and your ambulance drivers and people that save the day. How about that? Rescue workers. Yeah, they like to do things so very vigorously and really get an amazing result that, like, hands down, people will not deny, well, that is a great thing, man, you know. And whoever does that, well, Aries does. So anyway, that's the I am. That's the first sign of the zodiac. And already Venus went and it conjuncted this epic conjunction of Saturn and Neptune. The Mercury going retrograde, which it's kind of difficult on the communications, right? I mean, it's sheer confusion if you really want to look into it, kind of a thing. If you're trying to be logical, forget it. You should try more of meditation and feeling into it and doing a little art form of translating that way, perhaps expressive, let people be what they got to be at this time. I mean, really, with it retrograde, a lot of stuff is going to be very solid. This retrograde started in February of 26, and the shadows started way before that too. So the shadow means that we'll be going through the same thing. Wow, the 12th, 13th, 14th, which is eclipse time, and I don't know about you, but I didn't have a good time on the 14th, and it was weird, but it's actually something that I had to go through working for me. It's not working against me, and I don't want anything to do with it, but uh, anyway, I'll get back to us later on that, man. Just have mercy on everybody right now who is battling really sick people. It's a battle for our health and our life, and a lot of it is really right. It's our sanctuary, whatever it is that keeps us mentally stable. How about emotionally adequate level, and especially physically, and then that can help with our financing. And so, wow, you know, this is difficult to talk about because of the Mercury retrograde and how much Pisces is in the air. Really, it's more like, let's just be artists. Let's do art. And especially with Neptune conjuncting Saturn. See, it's a trip because Neptune is dissolving Saturn, which is good. See, in Aries, it's not so disciplinary. I want to say it's because it's in Aries, it's more apt to want to think in favor of the individual, which is now it's a strong time for everybody. Depends on where it is in your chart, but see, the Aries people and the cardinal signs are definitely lighting up. I can vouch for because I'm an Aries rising. It's definitely a movie that when we get the retrogrades happening, which we did have a Neptune retrograde and a Saturn retrograde back into Pisces before it's now permanently in Aries, and they both went into Aries, I'm pretty sure, and they kind of almost conjunct, but now is the conjunction anyway. And the Saturn, see, now we're going to have, it's just hard to like get rolling here with the Mercury in Pisces feel that is kind of ruling the show, being Neptune ruled. And then we have the Sun being Neptune ruled, and we already had it go cazimi. It's kind of strange. Just, I don't even want to look at the Mercury retrograde with the Sun in Pisces. It's just so, everything is so blurry. But see, the great thing is that we have Jupiter trine. Yeah, there's a Jupiter trine. And see, I just do the 9 planets, you know, and so there, I know that there's tons of other objects that other astrologers are putting on there, and I just think that it's a little bit too much. You know, they don't really get elaborate. You know, I have a hard enough time talking about the aspects of the 9 planets, and then these people put on to like 30 other objects, Vespa and Uriel and all this stuff, and it's like, you know, yeah. Pluto is moving right along at 4 degrees, moving forward into Aquarius. See, the thing that I see, Uranus is inching into the later decan, big, full, heavy cup of Taurus, which is Earth. And that is a very heavy energy of questioning our value system and our worth. And has that changed? Does it need change? Is it going to change? Do you have the change? Have you seen that video yet? Like and subscribe if you did. But anyway, yeah, see, you're not getting past that gravity that needs change and that we say that it will change before April, end of April, because that's when Uranus goes into Gemini. And that's going to be a huge shift in between now and that time. And this is where, of course, if it's a political movement that distracts everybody, which has been going on, it's going to try to stop the fact that communications, there's going to be, now is going to be a catch in the gear, which I can feel it. I can feel how that the Uranus and Taurus is, it's just awkward there. And if Uranus ever was about evolution and moving forward to do drastic changes to move forward through, it's not going to exit Gemini without there being a question. All of humanity is going to question mainly their relationship towards the earth, which is their main access to resources. Did they learn how to camp out? Are they benefiting from creature comforts, or is it just a big put on where they could be being drained, you know, like, because that's a balance for a lot of people. And we might see a crash in, I hate to say it, but because I know people love their dogs and their cats and everything, but see, the dog people have been picked on. And you want to be careful of when you rely on the vet and stuff like this. You need to switch their foods up. Like, do you know that a lot of the foods sold at especially at the store, dog foods? No, don't feed them any of that. You can't even give your cats that. I mean, use the kibble as a treat on the side, but give them, you have to cook them up chicken, carrots, broccoli, rice, potatoes, but put those vegetables in there. So the point being of that, telling you that is that, I don't know, we've just seen a change we all around there's a change, and it's terrible. Know that that industry is also turning into just a money-making industry, the same as, if you don't know it, that's the way that the doctors are for people. Anyway, I'm not your doctor. Go to your doctor and ask them how awesome it is, the money that they make. That's all it is. Sorry. God, getting back to, see, this is a trip with the Venus, and you can see Black Moon Lilith in there too. You know, somebody was trying to say there's a T-square, and I'm trying to look for it now. Like, is there a T-square that I'm missing? God, this month is so intense for everybody, but Aries, it's just so intense for the Aries individual. But for everybody it is, and so I'm trying to look and see, like, well, what do you mean? Why is it so intense? You know, I don't see that there's a grand cross, but it could be happening with the outer, like other 25 other objects that are out there, and also I'm not looking very well. I mean, I am really deeply affected by the outer planets shifting right over my ascendant, and then, well, Pluto is trining my Sun, Mars, Pluto, and there's something happening with that. I don't let people really know. I mean, I'm getting more and more, you know, it's just, I guess you can say wiser, I guess, but nah, I know it's important to communicate, and so I think it's important to communicate. Definitely communicate something above the level of attracting the pity party, you know, that's just not right, but that's what the money is hooked up into, right? Money is, I hate this fucking conversation now. We're talking about that because money is hooked up into the diabolical. That's what we're complaining about. The X files or the sex files, the E files, whatever you call them, that by intergalactic law, that family must, because they are affiliated with the moon and what goes on with that particular spacecraft and what have we. So sorry, this fucking thing floating. I'm gonna kill them all right now. There's this little gnat thing. Anyway, just a complex reality that we're dialing in on here, and some of us are getting downloads ever since the eclipse, 28 degrees Aquarius, and don't mind the kind of the feeling with the Sun in Pisces and the Mercury retrograde in Pisces of just still kind of just sleeping and going quiet. And people that can't sleep and go quiet and really get their downloads, it's not necessarily that you're just shutting down. No, it's actually, it's a time to, it's going to be where it's asking you, since that darn eclipse in Virgo, to get your daily life and routine situated. And for some of us, if you're lucky, it happens naturally. It's just like you have things that keep you in line, right? Your dog wants, at least your dog wants you to get up and feed it and take for a walk and take yourself for a walk too. Why not just enjoy that? And you know what I'm saying? And hopefully you don't find it too much trouble. Gosh, you know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be, see, that's, it shouldn't be that way. Where people say, now make a list and do a schedule. I don't really believe in that stuff. I say, would you please move out to the country and find out how to relax and then see what happens? I don't know, man. This is too much. People don't really, no, it's the age, and we've already seen it, and kids are just overloaded. Really, it's just a huge distraction crew and maze. Yeah, because really, no, you have no idea how great it is to be able to come from a place of relaxation, coming from a place of clarity, quiet, you know, and really, I don't want to say thinking it through, but meditation, coming from a place of meditation. So different than just hastily thinking and planning and instructed. And first of all, get rid of half of it or 3/4 if you can. That's fucking Taurus talking again. That's the Taurus. If you learned anything over the last 7 years, it is this: simplify, scale down, grow food, or garden something up with your hands. Use your hands to create and make sure you're enjoying it, right? And it's about your relationships, what that is worth exchanging between you people. Did you learn any of that? Now, I say that money sure does kind of prevent it, doesn't it? Getting back to how that it might be fully controlled and distributed. In fact, an entire world has been built up via a diabolical presence that is in the background saying he. It's certainly not she. Although we can get into the she, that we know that he is there, but a little bit too much, a little bit too many. And everybody knows what the word is. And so anyway, the astrology, let me see here. I mean, I know that there's a very beneficial trine happening towards the 14th and 15th of March here at the Ides of March, right? Very beneficial Mercury trine is going to happen here. It's more like on the 9th, 10th, 11th. Actually, it's happening as I speak. And it's just a good time to do healing if you're doing any communications, but it's really, you'll see that your home and your fort, I guess you could call it, but I would like to just say it's because it's Cancerian and water, you're like a mollusk and you're in your sanctuary, it's your shell, and hopefully you're able to be comfortable in it, right? A lot of us, though, see, which is the Aries side, is going through a lot of transformation, and that means some of the shells are getting too small, and we're getting a little bit big and uncomfortable in there, and it's just breaking off. It's looking too ridiculous after a while because it's like, you know what, this is part of the old shell, but why is it still here? Kind of a thing, both because we do have Piscean planets still in the air right now, but give us a break, we're having a procession going on, kind of a thing, with conjunctions to the Neptune-Saturn conjunction, which is a very, again, it's personal for each individual. Like for me, it's really gnarly because it's going over my ascendant, but there's angles that it's just as intense if it hits those angles. The ascendant is one of them, the descendant is the other, and the midheaven is one, and then the nadir, or the I guess you can call it midnight, is another angle, and that is Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, and they are going through a hell of an impact with the Saturn and Neptune. But see, we're looking at the early degree Aries, which is bingo. Those people, it's a certain collective out there that is, I mean, it's once in every 6,000 years that it's like humana. So if you're lucky, you got to humana. Babe, some of us are chosen, and that's precisely why we're going through it. And are we going to live through it? Of course we are. We are. That's all we're doing. Anyway, see, we just have a time of still cleaning and introspection back to the Virgo eclipse that is just now get rid of the shells, you see, that are busting off. A lot of us are experiencing that, and a lot of things will have to be rehashed until around about the 20th or the 21st, and then a replay of sorts, which is a big, kind of pay attention at that time, because a lot of things that didn't go in your favor might be going in your favor now, only because you can see it more clearly that whatever it is, that something just sticks out that other people can see. If, in case it's a narcissist or something, it's good to have witnesses or something, right? That can think deeper than the kitchen sink, at least, man, because sometimes, man, it's like, why would you sign up with somebody like that anyway? So it's a poor defense as far as that team. And so look at here, we've got, talk about some weird passive aggressive stuff happening, not just with Mars being in Pisces, but then Venus being in Aries, as they kind of go do a semi-sextile there, and well, see, yeah, I mean, I just don't see anything. Well, see, we have the sun that's going to conjunct Neptune, Saturn, and that's very important that happens. I mean, it's amazing. It's an amazing time. That's on the 20th, 21st. That's on the solstice. That's what's very special too, is because it's just so amazing that it's happening like that. And anyway, I would just suggest people to get more into the artistic way of doing things. Maybe pick up some poetry by, well, I can suggest Khalil Gibran, KALILGABRAN. It's just when you read the words, it may help you think, but really, books are the kind of things that it comes to you if the universe wants it. Anyways, but see, this is just still that time, and we're going through a, even though that there's such powers on the earth right now that uses technological base and all of it, everything, even human beings, not human beings, but the potential, right? Just what I mean is baby Babylon going on, people that fills up the military trucks to go and, I don't know. It's just it's a backdrop. It's called the world that, now let's get back to the dollar, that more and more, sorry, there's something right there. More and more there's central banking going on. And they're doing it legally under, see, it looks horrible from here, but under intergalactic rule and law, it is legal. But we know that intervention has happened by way of talking about a technology that comes out and whips a nuclear warhead out of the air or something like that. See, I might have talked about it before, and it's weird because I saw it later on the internet, spoke of, or whatever, heard it, that, well, what Trump is doing, and as far as, yeah, that, the Gaza and everything, the destruction, but mainly the killing, that now everybody is saying that it was unlawful, and of course it's awful, and who knows, it's just none of our business, that person's karma, but it's unfortunate that that it's there. There's like a, well, like I said, the money world is hooked up into it, and by the way, the powers that be that controls it all of the resources into this, if you want to call it uh, um, uh, anything less than a living hell, then I don't know where you're at, but congratulations to you. But no, the money, no, it has that, it's very isolating, but first of all, right? You're supposed to be happy with just, okay, I've got my little bubble I'm taken care of, but it's almost like, okay, I understand that, and in the movie, in the fucking video game, that's exactly it. If you're able to dial in on, like, the evolutionary process and everything, it's right now I'm just thinking of these Pisces planets, where the very teacher, Saturn, that gives us lessons is conjunct Neptune, which is a very spiritual essence. It rules the very mediums through which all of God's creation or teachings can express. It has to be done through artistry of some sort. Yes, it's a really good time to see artists should be lighting up by now. And I know that I've been doing my little art with the word thing because that's something that you're involved with too. Pardon me while it's like these weird things. They're not mosquitoes. It's just some other weak fucking gnat that I'm going to kill. Anyway, and I'm doing that, you know, and that's just figures that it really, it's real for everybody, but when you do an art form or something that you should be doing, it makes you feel really good and it brings you joy. See, and I can jump on my guitar and I bet you anything I'll be playing something really fucking amazing. But now I'm going to look at these planets. See, I wanted to talk about how the Sun conjuncts Neptune and Saturn, and then Mercury conjuncts Neptune and Saturn. Um, yeah, eventually, when Mercury finally goes forward, that's something we're going to all feel. That comes on March 20th. But here we are. It's the week ahead. This is March 11th, and just zeroing in on it. See, we have the 21 Sun that's still kind of conjunct Mercury, Pisces, and the beautiful thing that's happening right about now is the Mercury, Jupiter is going direct and is going to start moving forward to Jupiter. Mercury is trying to Jupiter during the time that it goes direct, so that's a very, very interesting pivoting moment. It's hard to think of, really. See, it's the kind of thing for me when I meditate on this particular configuration, I really literally have to like take a nap and enjoy. Really, it probably is just bottom line is you guys, it's time to do self-care in such a way that, well, it will be very beneficial. Also, reach out and communicate to people. You know, that's the main thing the main thing that I'm noticing is how chicken shit people are. That see, they don't really communicate. They don't communicate, so nothing is going to be healed, not in this lifetime. And it builds up resentment when things are swept under the rug. Basically, it's just, you know, some people live that way though, and they're like stuck, and their traditional value or something in the background, you know, could be money or something kind of holds them to that, and that's fine. But hey, don't expect to be of any good to anybody or even yourself. You know, a lot of people can get lifeless. You know, you have to reach for joy, whatever brings you joy. You know, God, people, joy. Hello, joy. Anybody? You know, when Mercury goes forward, by the time it's April 15th, we have it moving forward, and it's just gonna be full blast. Like and Mars too. See, there's gonna be 5 planets in Aries, and then I heard that there's a lot of other planets in or you know, objects in Aries that it's just like a fire hose opening up, but really it's not a fire hose, it's a flamethrower. And fire is good, you know, it clears things out, and your homes shouldn't be so flimsy that a fire can kill it. It should be made out of granite, right? I would love that, you know. It's just, well, now I have my VCR that I'll bring in and set on the, you know, you have to install it with the latest technology. But like the Flintstones, you've met the Flintstones, right? Well, have a yabba dabba do good old gay old time.